Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Chef's Meal. My name is Casey. And you know what? I don't even have my prompt in front of my face.
It's all right, you know? Yeah, it's Casey and Sean. We're your weekly home for culinary news, insights, tech musings, and everything in between. You can also catch us recording and streaming on YouTube at Chef Salty Pork Podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe to get up-to-date notifications of when we are broadcasting live. A little rusty, but we still here.
I went to tab. I did my tab command, and I was like, why is it not popping up? What is going on? A little something was bugging out with our audio. At least I think it's on the NVIDIA side actually on this one. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say it on that one. But needless to say, nothing too crazy. Sean, how was your couple weeks? Haven't spoken to you in a little bit. How was your freaking Saturday, Sunday off?
Yeah. I was like, have we done a show since Father's Day?
I don't think so.
Did we talk about? I guess we did. We did it
for like a second. We did like a mini, like an update, but it wasn't like we missed like a whole week last week. But nonetheless, July is upon us. How do you feel about July, Sean? The heat is out now. It's like literally in the 90s.
The heat is upon us, man. I'm dewy and glistening right now. I'm definitely not looking forward to these electrical bills going forward, man. That AC is cranking. And I don't know when everyone's gonna listen to this, but shout out to our brothers and sisters up in the Pacific Northwest, because y'all are dealing with global warming.
Yeah, that's
directed
a little hot
up
over there.
front. You got orchestra seats for that. So
yeah,
stay
I mean,
cool.
it wasn't too bad, but I'm used to the heat, as you are too, because we both work in the kitchen. But it does get a little unruly, and you get tired faster because of the heat always hitting you constantly. But yeah, man, what'd you do last weekend? You and your off fucking 2-day weekend on an actual weekend.
Oh man. Well, this past weekend was about chilling out with the family, but also kind of getting the second car roadworthy. So in most municipalities, you need to get your car inspected every year or every 2. Here in New York, you need to get it done every year. And
is it yearly?
I have literally not driven that car since last year this time. So, when it was time to get that done, I hop in the car and immediately realize that the battery is dead, all the way dead.
Of course.
So, I'm able to, I have like a trickle charger. So I was able to jump the car and, bring it over to my trusty mechanic, who was like, yeah, bro, your battery is dead. You need to drive this car. And I'm like, yes, I understand. I was like, we got another car and I should be rotating this out. But no dog. So he's like, look, you're gonna need a new battery. And I'm like, that's fine. But here's the wrinkle, right? So I was like, hey man, can you give me a new battery and then we'll inspect the car? And he's like, sure, we'll get you a new battery. He pops it in. The car starts just fine. He's like, I can't inspect your car now. and I'm like, well, why?
Okay.
He's like, because it will fail.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay. He's like, no, I know. He's like, I know you haven't driven this car because, they look up in the computer. He's like, it has probably 4 miles on it since the last time we brought it here. Because from the last time we got it inspected, I drove it home, put it in the driveway, didn't touch it. And what he was saying is in New York, or if you live in like a metropolitan area or like a high traffic area, one thing your car is going to need to do to pass inspection is to pass like a smog check. And pretty much they hook up a computer to your exhaust and measure the particles per million that are coming out of there, just to make sure that it's
ppm
up to the code of wherever you happen to live. If you live when I've lived in rural places, wasn't necessary, but we're in the city, so that's what you got to do. And what he was saying is look, I know that your car would pass the would pass the particle check. But the problem is that when you disconnect your battery or your battery dies, all of the settings in your car's computer get reset as well, or at least as far as
Great.
like, the history of like your car's ECU. So pretty much he's like, look, like you're gonna need to take this car and drive it around a bit, you know, just so that like the computer can measure the levels on its own,
Wow.
and then you can bring it back. And when we get it inspected, we'll do our tests here, and it'll kind of confirm it against like your car's registered settings, and you'll be ready to go.
Okay.
So yeah, that was this weekend. Driving the car around, just trying to get it prepared so I can get back over there sometime in the next day or so, just to get the car
Wow.
registered and rotate it around. But
Mm.
what this started was kind of the beginning of a project that I've been holding out on, and it's about like restoring that car, and you
Mm.
know like refurbishing the paint job, and eventually putting some like stock wheels back on the car, and maybe throwing in like a modern radio of the sort, something that supports like Apple CarPlay or Android
Mm.
Auto, and kind of going from there. Yeah, it's a very interesting time, very very interesting time.
Wow. I mean, I guess it's at least it's not like your engine like is
Oh
shot.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah. Like it's
just the battery.
mechanically sound for it's the car's age and usage, which
Mm.
is we didn't drive it too hard, but
Okay.
you still got to move it, still got to move it. But
Wow.
yeah, man, what you been up to? That was what I've been.
Yo, so actually, I can actually say this. As you know, I started my new job last week.
Mm-hmm.
So the way the owner, I didn't realize that he's the chef owner. So when I met the guy, I thought I was meeting with the owner. Just like, hey, they're looking for a chef, etc. I'm your guy, and then we went back and forth, blah blah. And then towards the end, he's like, I've been cooking here, 32 years. I was like, wait, you're the chef? He's like, yeah, 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 I didn't. It's like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. Like, had I known, um, I would have addressed you otherwise, because there's always a clear respect when somebody has been doing it for such a long time, and
For
also,
sure.
I mean, it's your damn title. Um, and it's like, no, it's not a big deal, blah blah. But fast forward, so last week I did a trail. It was supposed to be just a training trail, and Sean, if I can paint you a picture of the inside of the kitchen. Do you remember our prep space back in Jersey?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Right as it ends where that sink is,
Mm-hmm.
that's how small that kitchen is. That's it.
Wow. So, what kind of equipment do you have in that space? All right. And to our listeners, I would, if I had to approximate that space, it would be like maybe 12 feet long by 8 feet wide,
Yeah. How about that?
and then, yeah, yeah. And then
Hmm.
ceilings that are probably 10 feet.
A little higher actually
Yeah.
on this
Well,
one.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All
But
right.
give you another perspective. So let's say 12 by 8. I'm looking at the grill, or I should say the stove. Right, there's two stoves with ovens underneath. If you turn this way, there's a three compartment sink right there where the dishwasher is. Literally, you're like 6 feet away, not even. Right in front of it, the dishwashing, there's a little window right there for a through pass so people can see you, but also for like the staff to put glasses there so you can go into the dish. You turn around again and you have drawers. Oh my god, they have drawers here, Sean. It's like
Shout out to
amazing.
Gonzalez.
Unlike the other restaurant, there's four drawers right here, the table, the window. So that's where the stove is. You go down the line a little bit, 6 more feet, on the same side as the dishwasher, pantry, garde-manger right there, and within there's like a 2 feet space. You turn right around. There's the prep table, aka where they set the plates,
Hmm.
and about another 4 feet out is where the fryer is. That's it. That's the kitchen. That's all they're producing right there. And it's an intense kind of process just watching such a tight space, but also how efficient, how he made it work for him. But needless to say, I'm not necessarily the thinnest dude, nor you know like the biggest guy, but I am fairly wide. I kid you not. Like I'm a big dude, right? And just for me turning onto the little aisle, I block. I'm like a three person wide kind of thing, and it's a little difficult. However, we make it work. But it's a tasting menu too. The restaurant. So every dish had like 6 to 7 components. Sean, it's a difficult menu. Like I kid you not. My brain was kind of fried for the first couple of days where I was prepping, but I sort of picked up literally as the service went on. I was like, oh, okay, I understand. This goes here. This is what you do there. But overall, bro, I feel so good. Like my creativity is through the roof right now. I feel like I belong.
Well, hey, that's great. That's great.
You know, that's like
Um,
the best thing you can kind of say. Like, yeah, I feel like I really truly belong in that
you
space.
mentioned something that I want to take a step back and maybe you can clarify for the people listening.
Mm.
So, what is a tasting menu?
Tasting menu just means whatever the chef makes in courses. So it could be like a 5 course, an 8 course, whatever the fare for that day or for that menu. That's what you're tasting. So small bites, like smaller than appetizer, but big enough that you can have like 4 or 5 bites of. Does that make sense? So that's what a tasting menu is. So this one, I have it right here actually. I brought a little menu guide. So it's a four. You're not able to see it. It's like really tiny, but it's a 4 course tasting menu. It's a set price, reservation only. Sean, rezo only
Hey,
for 32 years. This dude pumping out crazy dishes for 32 years. So 3 courses savory, 1 course dessert for the entire tasting menu, $115. And you're pretty much seated there for like an hour and 20. That's your time to eat, pretty much to enjoy the atmosphere. It's like they're literally taking the concept of a restaurant and be like, we're going to give you a literal experience. And as it should. That's how restaurants all should be. It's not just ambiance, not just the food. It's a combination of both. And I think he fine tuned that so well in that little mini space that he has. The restaurant seats also 70 ish
okay.
in that small little joint. And I can actually say the name. He gave me permission. It's Cafe Matisse in Rutherford. So that's where I currently work.
Cafe Matisse. That's
I
awesome.
work under Peter Loria, and he grew up in the same generation as Ramsey and them. So he's in his 60s. Literally, he's one of the legendary ones. Worked with some of the top chefs in like back in New York. I had no idea what I was getting into. I was just like, yeah, sure. You need a cook. You need another chef to kind of help you out. I'm here. You know, whatever. I didn't know. And he started telling me X, Y, Z. I'm like, wait. What name again? He's like, just rifling off like he knew them. He literally knows them. He said the only reason why he didn't get Michelin stars or any kind of that big of a press is because he didn't want it. Not crazy? The dude didn't want it, but he did get plenty of press, New Jersey wise, New York wise, on the papers, and that was enough for him. He was like, that was it. He didn't get a James Beard or he didn't get a Michelin, but the homie's been there 32 years, and the only place in New Jersey actually that has a 4-star rating, like over literally you can't find anywhere else that has that kind of rapport. But nonetheless, like I said, the menu is crazy. And I understand his concept now, but it's such, I don't know. I feel good, Sean. I haven't felt like this in quite a while in any of the restaurants I've worked in, creativity wise. So it's inspiring, I should say.
Let me ask you. I mean, obviously, this is a new experience for you, and one that you find rewarding thus far. What's something that you're producing that, particularly brings out some of that creativity that, you were
Oh,
looking
see, I knew you were gonna ask that.
to kind
I
of
knew you were gonna ask
explore?
that, Sean. Sean, can I tell you this is his prized crab cake dish. Okay, I'm just gonna read you straight up from the menu. This is the old menu. Okay, savory second course. It's called spicy panko crusted crab cake and cheddar glazed shrimp. That's the name of it. And it contains cheddar toasted cornbread, spicy crab relish, fried jalapeno cheddar popper, corn jam, ancho sour cream, grilled corn, and spicy corn juice. Now, juice, Jus, like the liquor of it. I'm gonna send you an actual picture of it, but to describe it to you, it doesn't like. Okay, let me ask you how does that sound like to you so far?
It sounds amazing. It sounds
Like,
amazing. I'm
but
looking
what do
forward
you
to getting
think
this
comes
picture.
with? What do you think it comes with though? Like I
I'm
know it
not. I'm
kind of.
not. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I know it's a crab cake kind of thing with the shrimp. So it's loading right now. But as I explained to you, as it's sending, to explain the plate, when you finally do get it, we're waiting real time, y'all. I'm waiting for Sean to get it. There you go. Sean should have it
Oh
in a few
wow.
moments. So you're looking at a U15 shrimp, Sean. That
Okay.
fucker is right on top of that. Right underneath that is the little corn jam.
Mm-hmm.
It's a corn little mix with some peppers, etc. Bro, it's pretty ridiculous. Yo, what's up, Rob? It's been a while. What's up, my homie? It's been good. And then right underneath that is actually crab relish, spicy crab relish, like
Yeah.
like chunks of crab, yo. Like it's underneath there. He puts it right on top of the actual crab cake. That brown little disc is the crab cake. And right underneath that is a cornbread preparation, and then corn. Obviously, it's emphasizing the corn for this thing, and spicy corn juice. That thing that's all the way around it. That dish alone is like $50 just for the shrimp and the
It
crab by
looks
itself.
it looks amazing. It,
Yeah,
it looks amazing. I don't know if I can do a good job of doing justice to this photo, but
yeah.
wow,
It's
wow,
So
wow.
those are the dishes that are coming out of his kitchen. Like straight up, it's pretty bananas. Like he undersells a little bit on how it's presented on the actual thing, but it's been quite a bit. Just straight up, just seeing all the dishes comprised. It's literally like 8 or 10 things in per dish. The three of them work in concert pretty well, and it's like I don't know, man. Like I feel like I can push it all the way out through the moon, just getting some crazy things to be sold. So anyway, so that's how
Yeah,
it
I was
is.
Yeah, I was definitely curious, before you sent over the photos, because as you're describing, the
Mhm.
different parts of this dish, like the color that was like running through my head, like I just imagine like how it's all plated
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
yellow, right? You got the cheddar glaze, we got the
Hmm.
corn jus, we have the grilled corn, we got the relish and the crab cake, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot of yellow. I want to see how it's like
Bro,
put together, but that looks
it is phenomenal.
pretty
Like
pretty amazing.
he trained French too. So this thing is like about it's like a good 5 incher coming to your
Hmm.
plate. Like it just looks fantastic. I was
Yeah,
like, if there's anything that you ever leave after you've done this, like when you've quit, make sure this crab cake recipe stays. Like literally just this will be like you should put your name to this. It's so good. Um but
yeah,
anyway, I
certainly.
do
I can imagine in person it really makes a statement because the picture is making me hungry, man.
no, it definitely does. And then shout out to Robbie also. Yeah, no, we'll definitely get back to you, my another homie right here. It's been this guy
What's going on,
grinds
Robbie?
literally every day. There's an episode out. This dude does not disappoint. Like he wants to be, as the new biggest podcaster, and I think he's gonna get there. That's 750 episodes.
Shout out Robbie on
Robbie
his
Robertson.
grind, man. Content is king,
two-
as they say, man. Keep
the
going.
two named same name person, Robbie Robertson. Ah, such a classic. Yeah, no, I'll definitely hit you up. But Sean, I wanted to share this with you. So he was like, "Hey, let's do some of your menu," and I'm like, "Okay, look." I was like, "Wait, first of all, I was like, wait. Asian cooking, even though it's also 7 or 10 components, but they're all comprised into one effect. So if I were to like do a chicken dish, it's like 5 techniques and 10 spices, but you're only getting literally a piece of chicken. So I was like, for your setting, I think it'd be more efficient if I gave you the recipe, the actual recipe, and then we fine tune how you would layer it. Because I will give you like a 4-part dish, but when you eat it, it's harmonious. Like it's literally like chicken and rice. Like you wouldn't think anything of it, but it's like literally 25 ingredients going into it in concert as you do it, and it has to be properly done in a certain amount of time. He's like, okay, I understand that. So this is the second menu, Sean. So here's what I'm bringing to the table. Okay, Okay, I'm gonna take pictures. Let's see if it's up to snuff. But the fish taco is coming back into going back into the fray only because one, he gets primo fish from, actually the company is Madison. It's called here in Newark, New Jersey. Pretty dope place. The quality of the fish is almost on par with what we used to get on our old company. So it was pretty good. But it's a batter fried bass, pico de gallo, but the pico's a little an asterisk because we're going to change it ever so slightly. It's not your common tomato, onion, cilantro, salt, pepper. It's none of that. We're going to literally change all that all together. An avocado, cilantro, lime creme, but it's not going to be just that. And then fried pickles and baby greens for the fish tacos. Pretty straightforward. Like 2 pieces, but it's going to look bananas. I'm telling you right now. And then my favorite dish for the summer, I told them, chilled summer soba noodle. So we're doing soba, right? And we're calling it a vegetable stir fry with dried black cherries, green peas, Thai chili peanut vinaigrette, cherry balsamic juice, dusted with a pea powder, and optional U10 scallops on top of it. I know, yo, we going
Not
crazy.
The pea powder, like you got.
we going crazy here, Sean. What? I was like, I mean, I think we should go all out. Like, my brain hasn't been this fired up in cooking in so long. I'm like, yo, let's go. Let's go over the top. Let's wow the hell out of them. Let me introduce some new flavors. See if you like it first. And then if you do, bro, sky's the limit. Like I'm here to work. Like we will get this. We will make it bananas once again. But those are some of the dishes. I don't want to tell you the other 2 dishes.
Okay.
Just yet.
Yeah.
To give a little bit of
save something for people to make their reservations and walk through the threshold.
Come to the Rezo. You can definitely check it out. I don't want to put out the link just yet, but it's Sean.
Sure.
It feels so good.
Sure.
It feels so good.
Yeah. For everyone listening, sometimes like if you want to kind of think about what it takes to produce like even one of these dishes. Like imagine that you're walking into your local supermarket and just the different steps that you'll need to take to like gather the ingredients before putting them together.
I was like, let's go all out. I mean, you want 10 things? I'm gonna put 12. Like we're gonna go an extra mile. Presentation on point too. I'm bringing all my tools over. I'm teaching. So the way we plate, the fry guy, he's pretty much on setup duty. Okay. So once we kind of get all the main proteins all cooked up and heated up, the fry guy who is in front of you will start to put the plates down, and he has setups on his station. Then he would pretty much finish the plate, etc. So I'm gonna try to teach him a little different style, The chef likes all French, so everything just has to be high and then circles in the middle.
Sure.
Like off to the side, slanted, like making it just a little weirder. So we'll see how that works, especially for like soba noodles. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a hit. It's gonna be fish tacos and not soba noodle. But Sean, 2 definitive days off, and then you're working for like a primo store that I had no idea what I was getting into. It just feels so good. Like I keep telling Kayla, I was like, babe, this is like the best decision I've done in a long while, and I'm just sad that you or Nick is not in the same midst as we're kind of gonna try to push this, but it's okay. I keep telling him too. It's like you're gonna meet Sean at least at some point, and Nikki too at some point, and hopefully they get to taste.
When the time is right, I'll definitely come by and support for sure. I mean,
Bro,
that picture you just sent me, you got me sold, man.
Yo,
Let's light up the
it's a
easy
banging
pass
crab
and
cake.
make our way over.
It's a banging little plate. We do have another scallop dish that I'll send you next week. That will blow your brain too, just to see what's like in it and how much just exactly how much that dish would cost regularly if you were to push it out. It would be it's absurd, and he's buying products I've never even heard of, and yeah, man, that's all I can say. Like I can't even look it up. Cafe Matisse, Rutherford, Peter Lawyer is the chef's name. I'm just there to work. That's all I do.
So before we move on to something else, one thing that you said really, really stood out to me, and I can see it on your face, and I know this has you haven't even really been there that long, but yeah, man, like talk about how it feels to like know your days off. Like people, you really, really might not understand, what it's like to
God.
be working in this this industry, and the time constraints and the juggling you kind of have to do in your personal life around like the responsibilities of the kitchen. But if you're listening to this on your RSS feed or your podcast or you're streaming, like you're not seeing the joy and relief that's coming across Casey's face right now. So I need you to get into that, man.
So the feeling of always a Monday and Tuesday off. So the restaurant's closed Monday, Tuesday. That's it, like indefinitely. So we will run out of the products by Sunday, as minimal as possible. We will re-prep everything by Wednesday. But just to have not the train of thought, but like the peace of mind that you're going to be off Monday, Tuesday, indefinitely. There's no other like strings attached to that. Literally, you're just gonna be off. Enjoy your life. And I'm only working like 45, 50 hours on this joint too. He was like, I want you to have a life. It's not, this is my restaurant. It's not yours. I will bleed for this. Why do you have to bleed? When he said that, I mini cried inside. Sean, I was like, oh my God. But now I want to bleed for this guy. Like I really do. Like it's such a pleasure and a treat to cook with someone of that caliber. And I had no idea. I don't know. When you finally walk in, dude, and I just take the time to literally look at the walls. He had them plastered. All the awards, all the events, like is littered on his placard. And he's just like, that's probably some of them. There's probably more, but I just didn't put it up. The dude is humble as hell. Like he's a humble brag, but he's also really humble. He really doesn't care for platitudes. He just wants to put out a good product, and that just speaks so well to my soul. And then he goes, eventually when you start your business, because he kind of knew why I wanted to train, and I mentioned it to him briefly because I wanted to learn from him how he managed to do it for 30 years. 1, 2, what is the food cost, etc. 3, how much it costs to run the entire thing. I want to learn all that, because I know how to do it from corporate standpoint.
Sure, but he has all those systems in place already.
Correct. So I know the system for that, but I don't see the final number. I can see what's on our P&L, how much we made for the month, how much we made for the year, right? But I don't see how much corporate is paying, like how much is on their end, the house fee, the rent, the payroll for all the stuff. I mean, granted, I can sum that up. I can do that myself.
Sure.
The taxes, the insurance,
Mm-hmm.
etc. Like I don't see any of that. I want to pick his brain, but like, how do you budget X, Y, Z? So yeah, it just feels good, dude. Like it's gonna be a cool experience for anyone to come in, and I would love for you guys to come in. I'll give you a discount. I'll give you a 50% off discount. You know,
Okay.
just you know what
Wait,
I'm saying.
well, look, man.
Only
They
for Sean
say
though, just for Sean, nobody else.
in
Just to
oh, cool,
FYI.
thanks. Promo code me. In the world of in audio, people are gonna remember something if you say it 3 times. So let's give our guy and his restaurant a 3 time shout out. Bless him
Yeah.
with the name of the place again, Casey.
Cafe Matisse in Rutherford, New Jersey. We are open Wednesday to Sunday, 5:30 p.m. So there's three seatings: 5:30, 7 o'clock, and 8:15 for now. For now, eventually we'll do four seatings soon because your homie is there. The homie is a beast. I can carry on quite a bit of a load, and then plus him too. Like there's gonna be
Sure.
four of us. We could easily push out some numbers, quite essentially. So I'm really there for, I'm just there for the ride, Sean. I think we're gonna turn this quite a bit into a profit for him. And I was like, and he, I'll get into it again next week on what happened with him. He has so many, he had so many surgeries on his body because of over the years, and
Sure.
you would think, how is he still standing? I don't know, but yeah, man. I think for everybody else, if you can see my smile, I think you can see it, you can hear it
You should
from my
hear
timbre
it. Yeah,
too.
man.
Yeah. I'm really relaxed. It feels great. I don't know when the last time I had a definite, like, you're gonna be off Monday, Tuesday. I'm like, cool. It didn't really settle in until I was off Monday, Tuesday. I was like, oh my god, I can do shit. It just felt great. Oh, FYI, we're closed this Sunday.
Hey. Okay.
What? Who that?
Okay.
What?
Okay.
July 4th,
Okay.
we off? Oh my god. I
God,
don't know what
man.
to do with myself. There's a
Cafe
lot of.
Matisse. You can say it one more time. Cafe Matisse. Go see my boy.
Oh my god.
They're doing big things, and
We're gonna do big things.
if you should be treated to a dish that looks just as great as the one I got in a text message not too long ago.
Yeah.
Cafe
If you pay me
Matisse.
extra, I might give you a lap dance too. So I don't know.
Oh,
Just
hey,
saying.
all right, all right. What are we tagged, man?
Oh, in any case, Sean, do you want to do some tech news? You got some updates for me?
Yeah,
If
man.
not,
One big story that's near and dear
oh,
to my heart. Well, it's two.
okay, okay.
So, last week Microsoft kind of unveiled the future of Windows in Windows
Okay.
11, and though fundamentally it's not significantly different than Windows 10. There's been some UI changes. There's some usability changes as well. There's like two big features that I thought were really, really interesting. One of which is native Android support
Yeah.
in Windows, which is like really, really cool. And the reason why that stands out to me is not too long ago, Microsoft was really competing in the mobile space. They had their own division that produced phones and audio hardware. They had revisions of scaled down versions of Windows that existed on those products. And when those products really didn't kind of grasp and take hold of the marketplace in the way that they had hoped, they kind of pivoted to supporting Android on their mobile platforms. For those who aren't aware, Windows is the most used operating system on
And the
like desktop
planet
and laptop PCs, and Android is the most used operating system on
on the
mobile
phone.
hardware.
Yep.
So for Microsoft to kind of embrace that marketplace and yeah, and the development of apps in that space and kind of bring that to desktop Windows is really, really, really cool. Really cool. And it's something, I'm looking forward to going
I
forward.
mean, I'm an Android user, so this is going to be just just amazing. I think. Um, I don't know. I see. So here's the thing too, Sean. So
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking next year, maybe I should go back to a Pixel phone. One because I really love the Pixel. I really do. It's one of my favorite
Okay.
phones ever. But it just didn't work with my car. I mean, something with the UI just didn't want it to work. Maybe you think now it will work a little better, sorta. Now that there's an actual integration from Windows into the Android, and they should talk a little better
I
than it
mean, I
should.
think in your specific use case, I'm not sure if it's gonna work out better for you there. I mean, I would think that it would probably just come down to a software compatibility issue between
Ah,
the revision of Android that's going to be running on your particular phone and
mm-hmm.
the particular hooks that are built into your car stereo, kind of supporting that. But nonetheless, there's a greater chance for someone to make those compatibilities a reality if you've got more and more development resources kind of being pushed toward that.
Oh, maybe I
Yeah.
should stick to the Samsung phone for a bit. It's not bad, but I really miss the feel of the Google Pixel phone. Shout out to Google. If you guys want to sponsor us, by the way, we need some checks because Aldi hasn't been giving it to us. But
Oh
anyway,
man,
needless to
Aldi,
say,
where you at? They're look, dude. They're opening an Aldi like a few blocks away from here,
are
so
they really?
maybe I can go and pick up my checks in person.
There you go, man. It's in due time, bro.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention, in the world of Microsoft, and this is video game relating, is that finally Xbox Game Pass streaming is available to a whole lot more platforms. So previously, like the streaming beta was available to Android phone users
Mm-hmm.
and selected Windows users that were in the beta for the software. But now they've rolled it out, so now it'll be on. You can use it on any browser. You
Mm-hmm.
can use it on iOS, and soon enough you'll also be able to use it on a console. So right before we did the pod, I was able to kind of quickly try it out. Just
Mm-hmm.
loaded up the Game Pass streaming on my phone, paired it up with an Xbox controller, and was ready to go.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good experience. It
but
was
isn't
just a
that
surprise.
isn't that what Stadia is?
Yeah, but the
Right.
difference is like with Stadia, you're sort of you're subscribing to the service and you're paying for the games on an individual basis, as opposed to
Oh.
Game Pass, where it's kind of more like Netflix, where you
Mm.
pay for the subscription and you've got like a whole bunch of different titles to choose from. And one thing that I thought was interesting as well was there were certain titles that I could play on my phone without even needing a controller.
Ah.
Yeah, and the fidelity was pretty close to what you would get from having a machine, hooked up to your TV. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of
Okay,
the
so it's
first
good.
step of this initiative to kind of bring video games and high fidelity video games to places and markets in which it wouldn't be economically feasible,
Mm.
where either, it would require that people had a television and reliable internet in their home and access to the marketplace to buy Xbox games and buy Xbox hardware. It's like now they're gonna be where the people are, which is everywhere. If you've got a computer with a web browser, pretty much gets you in the game. And you know, if you
Yeah.
got a mobile device, Android, iOS, you're there.
Wow.
It's kind of the first step of the future, man. You
Yeah,
know,
it really is.
yeah, yeah.
Do you think Switch game consoles will start to dip in their sales, or do you think, because think about it, what if literally people are just like, well, I don't need to get this anymore? You think Nintendo will finally switch over to having their stuff streamed also
I mean,
on
there are
their
some
platforms?
there are some titles that exist on the Switch that kind of work in that capacity as well.
Okay.
So, you know, there's some titles like I want to say like one of the later Resident Evil titles or Control are these games that have been like technical marvels on other platforms that couldn't be done natively with the hardware that's built in the Switch. Like there's,
Mm,
you know, the infrastructure is there to kind of support those initiatives. I think that when people buy a Nintendo machine, they're typically going for Nintendo titles. They want their Marios, they want their Zeldas, Metroids,
wow.
and the like. So I don't think that's really going to change. But I think Microsoft kind of proving in this space that these technologies can be built to scale would incline me to believe that at some point, you know, a Nintendo would certainly follow. You know, maybe
Mm,
it's not this generation or the next, but it wouldn't be crazy to think that, you know, there'll be a Nintendo streaming app that'll be on a smart TV, you know, in 10 years time where, you know, you'll, I guess, buy their controller or, you know, maybe bring your own and you'll be able to kind of subscribe to whatever Nintendo's willing to put on their service. But it's actually cool, you know, the future is here. I could
yeah.
tell you myself that it works. I mean, I've used Luna, Amazon's competing thing.
Mm,
I tried Stadia. I used OnLive years in the past, and they felt good,
yeah.
but
It
you know
wasn't
they
the
weren't.
same.
It wasn't quite there. And
Mm,
even here, I would say like, is it as good as playing on an Xbox or a PC natively? It's not, but it's getting close, and and you know, and over time it's going to be closer, and probably at
mm.
some point it'll be the only way to play.
Well, I mean, I'm down for it, you know, as we move into the future, more future, I should say. I mean, we're in our 30s, but I think we got like another 30-ish more years here. I think
I
we
mean,
get
I'm
to
hoping,
see
yeah, I'm hoping
some
for a little bit more
flying
than that.
cars, some flying cars and shit, Sean. That'd be cool.
Sure,
Hoverboards, maybe, you know, like Back to the Future.
maybe.
Oh my god, that'd be
I
great.
mean, again, it's just crazy how technology moves, you know, forward, right? Like,
Mm,
you know, 20 years ago, the idea of carrying all of like, you know, streaming video in your pocket would be like a pipe dream. But now, you know, we've
mm,
got 10 major streaming players in the United States, you know, that you expect to be everywhere, you
mm.
know, you expect there to be support for it, you know, and to see that we've gotten there with gaming in a short time at reasonable to high fidelity is pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I'm definitely for it. I just hope that it'd be, you know, it'd be pretty decent, I guess. But I'm still gonna be. I mean, I still don't have the PS5. I'm still waiting on not really a rebate, but I want to get it on the cheap still. But not
Yeah, man.
necessarily like, since I have this newfound 2 days off specifically. Oh, did I also tell you I don't have to go until 12 on my days?
It's you.
Just isn't that crazy? Sean, like it's bananas. Anyway, needless to say, my happiness is achieved even more nowadays. I wish I can, or rather, I should say, when I finally do it myself, that I give the same pleasure to my workers. Like
Yeah.
they feel like they have a life, and they're not just stuck. But anyway, needless to say, I digress. You can also see on the banner there. So we were supposed to be talking about barbecue recipes and 4th of July weekend. So, Sean, talking about barbecue, as we all know, it's the greatest American cuisine. If we can tag anything to America, besides being an ass of a country, barbecue is their main forte in their
Happy 4th of
cuisine.
July, everybody.
And the actual barbecue stems all from African cuisine, so we can all attune to that. But Sean, what are some of your favorite barbecue, not recipes, but what are some of your favorite barbecue fare? Let's start with that.
Oh man, sure. So look, if I am showing up to your barbecue, I am definitely looking for a well seasoned burger. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for, a slightly charred hot dog. I am looking for your ribs. I am judging you on your ribs.
Of course.
I kind of want to see what your chicken gang is, or your chicken game is looking like. We start with the grilled meats, and then we'll kind of we'll go from there. Typically, I'm not a potato salad at the
I'm not a
at the
potato salad
barbecue
either.
type of guy, and that's not necessarily any shade to anyone's ability or inability to make potato salad. It's just more so from working in the industry. I get weird about how stuff is refrigerated or kept temperature controlled outside. So like if
Me
it's
too.
not sitting on ice and I didn't see it put out, I'm typically gonna just kind of move past it.
Yeah.
But shout out to everyone who's a bit more courageous than me when building their barbecue plate.
Or if it's not in a pickle, like in some kind of acid, I don't trust it. Like if it's not pico de gallo, and like some kind of lime thing, I probably won't touch it. If it stays, if it's in direct sunlight, I'm like, I don't know about it. I don't want to get sick today, so I'll just move on to the meats. At least it's okay. But okay, so you start with the meats. Anything for? How about brisket though? Is that your thing?
I mean, I love a brisket, but I wouldn't say like I don't know. I can't remember the last time that I've had brisket at a barbecue, like a cookout situation. I mean, I've gone to places that have like made a good barbecue brisket. But I was thinking, when you asked the question, I was just thinking about like, hey, I'm going to such and such's picnic. What am I looking forward to? And I'm starting with those first.
I understand you. I think I just want chicken and pork, whatever those two are. I usually gravitate around those two. I don't really particularly go for the burgers or the red meats, only because I don't really consume them anymore. However, if we were to go to an actual, like if my mom decided to do barbecue and she does not barbecue, okay, first of all. Second of all, the woman does not cook. But as Filipinos, we will always usually typically have some kind of lechon. That's our thing, right? So that's into the barbecue. Some sausage, usually it's like a sweet and spicy-ish sausage. And then third, there has to be lumpia there, no matter what kind of form it is, into a barbecue format. And then obviously your fish and things, but that gets more specific as a Filipino though. But for anybody else though, here in our friend group, I think I look forward more to their franks. Like if it's like straight up some good old beef franks, bro, like kosher.
Sure,
oh my god, yes, all day.
Yeah, it's like give me some natural casing franks, and
man.
I am all for it. I am all for it.
I love me some franks.
You mentioned something there that I didn't consider, or I should have considered, because typically like my family, in a pre-COVID world, we would throw like family reunions over the summer. And in addition to like the typical barbecue fare that I mentioned before, someone usually like fries some fish.
Yeah, man.
And that's always a highlight. Shout out to John Ford.
There you go.
If you know, you know.
Get some good fish.
I mean, it comes in with the fresh caught fish.
Yeah, man.
It's got the portable fryer ready to go, seasoned and battered. drops that fish, and it is hot and ready.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
always a
look
highlight.
forward to that. Like
I should have thought about that.
if somebody can put out some fish dishes in a barbecue, bro, shout out. Like I will do your prep for you. Let's go. I'm there, you know. But typically, I think I just texted Sarah, by the way, Sissy, and I was like, "Yo, let's get together again, let's do some barbecue." And immediately, I'm like, "Oh, I should get some snapper," because yeah, we all eat fish. But definitely snapper prep, either fried or grilled with like a pico would be really nice on it. Maybe like a summer guac, like pineapple guacamole ish, and then bring over some like half roasted chickens on the barbecue. That'd be pretty good too. And then whatever else, usually like corn or something. And that's a pretty good day for us. But yeah, man, barbecue for me tickles quite a big fancy because I didn't even realize, growing up in the Philippines, that style of cooking, even though inherited, like, how do I put this? We did it also, but like a different form of it, So when I first came over here, I still remember. So 97, as we all know, that's when I came over with my brother in Queens, and someone invited us for barbecue that following summer. I'm thinking what I would usually, get from the Philippines, which is like pork, fish, some other fare that I would find, but then to be hit with burgers, hot dogs, cheddar cheese, potato salad, coleslaw.
Right.
And I'm like, what is this? This is not this is not barbecue. I don't understand. But it's just such a, I don't know. I guess that's the turning point where I'm like, it's not just the cuisine you grew up with. You're in a different country now. Everything is a little different, learn to adapt. So I don't know. I guess it's just a different form of barbecue. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Whenever I say barbecue, I immediately
a question about your barbecue chicken, and I was giving a demo about some food for Juneteenth for my employer, and I was talking about grilling, and I was talking about chicken, and one thing I was imparting to everyone, at least what I like to do, is par cook the chicken before I grill it. Where do you stand? Are you going start?
No, I'm
are you
cooking.
seasoning it? Okay.
I don't got time for that. So for everyone that's listening right now, if you take a raw chicken and you grill it, expect 45 minutes. That's your time frame, no matter how big the chicken is. Even if you cut it up small, it doesn't matter. Okay, maybe a little bit, maybe 30 minutes. But you're spending 45 minutes on the grill just for chicken, and it takes a little more care because there's a lot more fat on there. So you have to move it consistently and consistently and constantly. And oftentimes, people forget, and thus it dries out. So by par cooking it, by I don't know, whatever you do, by boiling it or pre-searing it a little bit or going into the oven before you move it out, I'm all for it because now it becomes 10, 15 minutes on that bird instead of your half hour, and then you can then have your burgers, your dog, literally everything come up at the same time as if we would in the restaurant. But I'm definitely all for it. Wings too, absolutely. Pre-cook that. I don't got time for that. Are you kidding me?
That's exactly what I was explaining. I was like, in my brain when I'm cooking, I'm always trying to do things in parallel so that they're all coming up at the same time. Because as much as I like to do it, you want to take that time and be able to mingle and talk to the people at the party if you're the one on the grill. But like you said, if you're starting with some ingredients from base zero, you're going to be managing that process over a longer time. So if you have the time and the opportunity, I definitely would suggest you par cook your chicken ahead of time, and then manage it from there.
Imagine too, here's another thing. Imagine too, someone not fully versed on how to watch the heat level on the grill. That's like a separate skill altogether that you only learn through experience. It's not
Sure.
I think that's hot, or whatever. You literally will physically learn that's the hot spot. That's the colder spot, and I need to rotate to get the food ready. So that's another thing to take account too. And then you're trying to mingle, and then you had like a couple, bro. You're gonna get that food burnt, if anything.
Sure. Yeah.
If you're not paying
Burnt on
attention.
the outside, raw on the inside. It could be a bad time, man.
Yeah.
Could be a bad time. So
But yeah,
Sean's
that
tip
is
of
it.
the week is par cook that chicken.
Power cook the chicken, definitely. Also, if you want to do a whole roasted chicken, flay it, butterfly the back, splay it. That way, it's nice and flat. The more surface area that it can cook, the better and faster it does. If you're gonna go the whole chicken route, if not, literally in sections. The wing, the thigh, the drum, and then the breast attached, or like even half chicken portions are pretty good too. But don't try not to tackle the whole bird. You want to go. I want to say that's like a level 3 skill that takes a little bit. But then again, all cooking is just, don't mind me. You know what? I'm just thinking restaurant wise, it's probably all garbage anyway.
Yeah, man. Look, learn and burn, burn and learn. That's
There you go.
that's it.
Thank you.
That's it. You're
That's
gonna
what I
mess
was trying
up.
to say.
You're gonna mess up. You're gonna have happy mistakes and unhappy mistakes, but you'll figure it out.
But other than that, though, tell us about your 4th of July weekend. Tell us how you celebrate Independence Day here in the U.S., whatever you guys do. Typically, this time of year for Americans, they like to barbecue, cue it up, as they call it. I mean, you watch television right now, literally everything. 4th of July weekend, buy this, barbecue this, grill that. The new corn, the fresh this, how to choose a watermelon, literally revolves around this, at least for America, for such a silly thing to celebrate 4th of July if you just kind of get into the history books. But barbecue responsibly. Don't burn down your house. One final tip, at least for me, if you are going to barbecue, do not put your barbecue next to your freaking house. Remove it at least 10 feet away.
For sure. You want to be able, and the reason for that is you want to account for wind and flames and embers kind of jumping from your grill to flammable elements in your environment. So you definitely want to keep a safe distance from anything that could go up.
Yeah. But that's it, folks. We should be back again next week. Looking at the calendar, though, other than the 4th of July weekend, the next day we're looking at is Labor Day. That's September. So, restaurant-wise, I guess it just depends what kind of restaurant you're in. From what Chef is saying, at least for our spot, right now is the busiest time of year.
Okay.
Till about like mid-October, maybe November, because we have an outside seating space too. It's really romantic. Like, damn, Sean, like, I'm gonna give you the link after. Just look at the pictures and stuff, and you're like, wow, this is nice. But it's also hilarious. He goes, if I can only tell you the amount of people that I turn down, or rather the amount of people that say no, thank you, when I tell them the price, because it's $115 a person. He's like, I could probably make 2 more restaurants for the amount of it. But yeah, man, not too crazy. Hopefully everybody's safe. Even though we're not mandated to wear a mask anymore, please do still be responsible and
That's it. Yeah.
create space, wash your hands, drink plenty of water during this heat time. Oh, Sean, I forgot to tell you. Hold on. It's a show and tell kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Not sponsored by them, but I would love to. Really quickly, got some new kicks, as you can tell.
Hey.
Right? Those look pretty decent. They look like off-brand Yeezys or some junk, right? pretty
nice.
generic. But these are called Kuru footwear. These are the same shoes that I wear for the kitchen, but they make them for all purpose. Only because Sean, the other day my knee clicked.
Oh no.
I told you this, right? So now I wear this on my knee. Great. I wear this on my wrist because it hurts. And then I sleep with this to make sure the wrist doesn't go anywhere, just in case Caitlin like decides to flip over and punch me in my sleep. You know, I have something to protect me. But yeah, I'm getting there, Sean. I just wanted to tell you that. That's all. That was the whole purpose of the show and tell, is to tell you, my body's getting a little older now, and I need to take care of my feet better. So these shoes, even though they're costly, they align my everything in my spine. So shout out to Crew Footwear if you haven't already. Other than that, that was a long outro. We love everybody. Be safe.
Peace out.